Hi, this is All Music and All Bands, and we're talking with Nikki Sikks, bassist from Wrecking Crue, the ultimate Motley Crue tribute band. Thanks for taking your time to conduct this interview with us.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on. How you doing?
Doing really good. Thanks for, like I said again, thanks for taking the time out to do this interview.
Oh, yeah, no problem, man.
All right. For those unfamiliar with yourself and Wrecking Crue, would you please give us some background?
Yeah, sure. Well, we are Wrecking Crue. We are Detroit's Motley Crue experience, and we're a tribute band. Obviously, we're a tribute band to the legendary Motley Crue. And what we do is we go around the country and we perform different shows, different eras from the history of Motley Crue. And we do a full-on stage show with full production. There's the four of us in the band, and there's also two others that are in the band, our girls. They're backup singers, and we also have a dancer that comes on occasionally, and that's what we do. We take that show, the show that you can't see anymore from Motley Crue, and we take it to the small stage and right to people's faces.
Hey, Nikki, could you introduce us to your band members?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm Sikks, Sikks. That's the twisted version, and I'm the bass player, and I also do backup vocals. We have Crash Mars, who's our guitar player and backup vocals. We have the incredible Toby Wee on drums and backing vocals. And we have our squeaky clean front man, not really clean at all. He's a dirty SOB, but we got Vinny Rocks. Vinny kills it. He's our vocalist. And oh, by the way, Toby does also play piano, so occasionally he does do that on stage too for Home Sweet Home. And we have Precious, who's one of our backup singers, and we have Sharon, who's our other backup singer. Additionally, we have Jill Daniels, who was a dancer and / troublemaker on stage. And we're actually bringing a new element too. We've got a girl called Trixie, and she's going to be coming out doing some really cool stuff. Next weekend, I think, is going to be her debut.
Now, you mentioned you've covered pretty much all eras from Too Fast for Love up until Carnival of Sins. What's next for Wrecking Crue?
Well, like you said, we cover the eras. We don't do all the eras because we've been doing this. We've been doing this about 4 years now. This is going our fifth year. August will be fourth. Fuck, I can't. 2014, 18. Yeah. Okay. So August will be 4 years since Wrecking Crue formed, and we've gone through different members, of course, like any band, and we finally solidified with this incredible freaking lineup. I don't know, within the last year and a half or so. So we've been going out and tearing it up, doing the different eras. I would like to say that we pick and choose real carefully what we do. We started doing the Too Fast for Love era, which we call the early look for us, which is what they did on stage back in '81 in the clubs. And we do a lot of the elements that they did as far as the stage show and the look of it, the sound of it, the instruments that they used, the outfits that they wore. We have damn near the exact same stuff, which we've either had custom made or we custom make ourselves. And then we do the Shout at the Devil. Full same thing, stage show, outfits. We do the '87 Girls, Girls, Girls tour. We do the Carnival of Sins tour. And on the 16th of next month, we will be debuting, for the very first time, our rendition of the Theater of Pain tour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, it's huge for us, See, when we started, we didn't, like any upcoming band starting out, we didn't have any money or anything because, everything we do is self-financed. We have to do all this stuff ourselves. So it was kind of a hodgepodge of stuff just because at the beginning we weren't trying to do anything with it other than just go play, And so, but we thought it would be important to make it look cool to the fans and to ourselves more than anything. So we started with the red and the black and the pentagrams and skulls and candelabras and stuff. And then we decided we wanted to go into something big, you know, so we picked the girls tour specifically because nobody else does it. You know, all the other tribute bands that we've seen either do Shout at the Devil or they do what was the more modern, the current look at the end of Motley Crue's career. We stayed away from Shout at the Devil very specifically because, again, most of the Crue tributes out there do that, and we didn't want to be, you know, the same. We wanted to do something that would separate us from them. And it really kind of sucked because, you know, for a lot of us in the band, Shout at the Devil was our favorite. You know, that was the heaviest, that was the most metal, most aggressive album, which is Shout at the Devil typically is the guys' album. And we did that, and then we jumped into Carnival of Sin as a one-off. We did it just for one show, just to do something special for the fans, and it turned into a full-on show, which is rivals our girls' show. And then eventually, everybody was on our ass, bitching, you guys got to do Shout at the Devil, you got to do it. And we're like, okay, well, fine, fuck it, we'll do it. We did it one time. We did a split show. We did half the show, Too Fast for Love, and then we switched over. We switched costumes, and we did Shout at the Devil. But we didn't have the entire show. We had about 3/4 of it, and then again, people were constantly honest about it, so we decided we were going to do it as a full-on show. And we've done that several times now, too. But now with Theater of Pain, this is the thing. Motley Crue played in Detroit at Joe Louis Arena September 19th, I believe, 1985. And it was, Theater of Pain was Motley Crue's first headlining tour. Even through Shout at the Devil, they were opening act. You know, they were opening for Ozzy most of that tour. So this is their first time as a headliner, and it was also their first time headlining as an arena act. So that was a huge thing. And of course, that's when they really kind of got popular, when, you know, with Smoking in the Boys' Room, the video, and then Home Sweet Home was the big hit. So for us, we're playing this in Detroit, the legendary Harpo's, and we're taking our version of that show, and we're going to debut it there. So it's really freaking huge. And I'll tell you what, we've been working on this show for like, man, I want to tell you a good year, at least. Because while we were building it, it was like, well, we got to come up with costumes, and, you know, you can't go to the store and buy the Theater of Pain outfit or the Theater of Pain guitar. Everything has to be custom made. For our guitars, our outfits, we have a seamstress we hired. Because we used to do it ourselves. We would literally sit at home and make these outfits, but it got to be too much. So we have a seamstress we work with, and she designs and custom makes all of our costumes now. At the guitars, myself and Crash, we build them, or we have people build them, or we work with people. And then I just got my bass, just got it back after getting a complete new custom paint job just for this show. So, and then the set too. I mean, it's big. You know, we've got all these steps and risers and stuff, and it's just a really big thing. And what sucks is we're not going to be able to do it a lot because it's so big. We can only do it on really big stages. But you know, we'll be debuting it on the 16th of June, and we'll see where it goes from there.
What other shows do you have lined up?
Well, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but I know. Next Friday, we're heading out to the Chrome Horse, which is in Iowa, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And then the following night, we're going to be at a place called Poopy's. So well named. It's a really awesome biker place. It's got this awesome outdoor stage. Actually, we just saw pictures. They're building an outside swimming pool bar, right by the stage. That's in Savannah, Georgia. I'm not Savannah, Georgia. It's in Savannah, Illinois, and that's right off the Mississippi River. So we're going to be playing there. And now here's something cool. This is something that we do different than I think. Man, I want to tell you, almost every tribute band. I've never seen another tribute band do this thing here that we do. When we play a show, almost every time we play, it's a different show. You know, your typical band. They have their stage show, their costumes, their instruments, whatever they have, and they go on tour, or they'll go and play shows for 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever, and they do the exact same show every time. So it's real simple for them to do it. With us, we always switch it up because we don't like to do the same show. For example, we go back to the same places. We'll play, there's a place called Slick Willie's down in Knoxville, Tennessee. The first time we went down there, we took our girls show. So then they invited us back like 2 months later. So we're like, shit, how are we going to do? So we went down there and we took our Carnival of Sins tour. Then they invited us back again. So now we're going to go down this third time and we're going to do a split show, which we rarely do. It's a real special thing. Half of it, Too Fast for Love, Change Over, then Shot at the Devil. And then we actually have a fourth date in October, and I don't know what the hell we're going to do there. But we do it because we don't want to just come in and do the same old thing. We want every show, every time we play a venue, to be something fresh, new, unexpected. And even when we do the same show, which does happen occasionally, we change shit around. The set list is always different. We're always throwing new songs in. We play the hits. We'll bring the deep cuts, the B-sides, songs that you would never expect the band to play. We played songs that Motley Crue themselves have never even played, as far as on the live stage, yeah.
Is there a particular show that stands out the most to you?
Oh, yeah. We played in Hollywood, California at the Whiskey A Go-Go. That was June, I believe it was 29th of 2016. We got invited out to Crue Fest 15. Crue Fest that they have in Hollywood is actually a fundraiser to raise money for cancer in the name of Skylar Neal, which was Vince's daughter who died when she was young. We got invited out there to headline that show, and we came out there. We spent the weekend in Hollywood. We hung out at the Rainbow. We sat in Lemmy's chair. This was before Lemmy died, actually. Was it before he died? No, he was already gone. Yeah. We sat in Lemmy's chair and had Lemmy's, Jack and Cokes. I remember buying around we had crew and a bunch of family. We got, some of us had family who live out in California. So there was a huge group of us, and we were rounds of drinks for everybody, sitting in Lemmy's chair, hanging out, doing interviews. And a bunch of us actually literally ran down Sunset Boulevard to Sunset Strip Tattoo, the legendary tattoo studio, and got a bunch of tattoos. I actually got tattoos done in the chair that Nikki and Tommy and even Axl had got tattooed in back in the day. And then we ran back to the venue, and we were up and getting dressed, and we went and did our show, and we just totally fucking blew them away. On top of that, me and the singer at the time, Matt, we actually walked up the street to the old house where Motley Crue lived, the Crue house, and we were hanging out, looking around over there. So it was like, this was crazy. We're a Motley Crue tribute band. We all love Motley Crue, and here we are headlining on the same freaking stage as these guys, sitting in the same dressing room. And even more than that, bands like The Doors and every band you can think of has been on that freaking stage. Even the night before, we watched one of my favorite bands is LA Guns. We watched them Friday night on that stage. Saturday we came in, took their stuff off the stage, and put ours up there. Yeah. Yeah, it was, it's another thing too is that's worth mentioning that made this so cool for us. We go to our shows and we play, people don't dress up, they just come, their jeans, shirts, whatever, like they normally dress. When we went to that Hollywood show, it looked like the 80s. People were full on dressed. The girls were in their mini skirts and their big hair, and the guys had leather and denim. And it was like the freaking 80s again, And then before we played, a lot of the people had kind of cleared out, and the crowd was real thin. And we're like, shit, man, this is gonna suck. And we got out there, we started playing, and all of a sudden, all these freaking people came back in from outside, and the place. I guess they'd never seen anything like that. Since the days of Crue playing there, because they were just blown away at what we were doing, So that we've done some really awesome shows. We've been down all the way to El Paso, Texas, and we were treated like freaking kings. We were flown out there, actually. We've been all kinds of really cool places, but that was the topper. And on top of it, we actually drove our gear. They wanted to give us backline gear, and we said, there's no way that we can do that. our show is a big part of what we do. So every time we play, you know, whether they're offering us gear or not, we don't give a shit. We take our show because we want people to have the best possible fucking time they can. So we bring everything, every time.
You know, what other part of the country would you like to play in that you haven't already?
Well, for me personally, I would love to get up and play in Seattle. You know, I really like that part of the country. I like that city and the whole vibe. And hell, if the situation was different, we'd probably live there, you know. I tell the guys in the band, oh man, I don't know, Seattle. I'm like, oh dude, you can't go. You can't go. I'm like, you'll find another guy. You'll be all right. But I'm not going nowhere. I mean, we're here, we're a Detroit band and we dig it, but I'd love to go play up there. I'd love to go play in New York City for the same reason. I've been in New York and hung out there a bunch of times, all the cool places like Duff's over in Brooklyn, the Kick-Ass Metal Bar, and you know, I'd love to go play there. We would love to go down and play in Florida because there's a lot of cool stuff happening down there. But honestly, we'll play anywhere. We don't care as long as the fans are there and they want us to come out. We're there. And people ask us every single day on our Facebook page, you know, come here and come here. We want you to come here. And we tell them all the same thing. Look, if you want us to come down there, you need to rally all your friends, let them know about us, and go tell the people. Go to the venue you want us to play in, and you go tell them, bring Wrecking Crue here. This is what we want. And it's happened a few times. And, you know, the fans of this band are just insanely cool to us. We're definitely, I guess blessed would be the best word for it, because our people, they treat us like we're Motley Crue, you know, and we tell people we're not Motley Crue. We don't think we're Motley Crue. We're not egomaniacs, and we're not freaking rock stars. We go up and we play our hearts out, and we do everything we can to deliver the best show we can for people. But at the end of the day, you know, we're just regular people, and we're having fun.
How did you meet your current members?
Well, let's see. Like I said, you know, we've been through some different members of the band over, you know, from the time we started. I founded the band, and then I got Precious into it as a backup singer. And the funny thing is, I didn't even intend to have backup singers because, you know, I'm a fan of the early era, the early days of Motley Crue before they had them. They didn't have backup singers until the girls' tour in '87. But it just kind of worked out. It made having additional vocals, especially female vocals, thickened it up. It made it sound better overall, you know, so we included them. But I formed the band, and like I said, we've had multiple guys. We've had several different singers. We've had a couple different guitar players. We've had like 4 drummers. Crash, our current guitar player, you know, he's the freaking man, dude. He's an incredible player, and he's just such a huge asset to this band with everything that he does. He came in, he answered an ad. I had like a Craigslist ad looking for a guitar player, and he answered it, and he was like, yeah, you know, I'm not looking for some bullshit. I just, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay, dude. So he came out and jammed some songs, and that was probably January of 2015, and literally like 2 weeks later, he played his first show with us, and he's been killing it ever since. And he's such a huge thing to this band. Vinny Rocks, our singer, he jumped in, year and a half ago, and because the guy we had before him, we had to part ways with him. You know, it was an amicable thing. You know, he was a good dude, but it just wasn't working out. So we knew of Vinny. We knew he was a really good singer. You know, and he came, we just, you know, like any band, you don't know if it's going to work out, if the guy's going to be able to handle the role. And he stepped in and he just took over, you know. I mean, big part of a band like Motley Crue is that front man, you know, the guy that gets up there and gets the crowd going, and he definitely does that. And then Toby Lee, well, it was the same kind of thing. We were having some issues with the drummer we had at the time, and our manager at the time was over at rehearsal, and he's like, hey man, I know this guy, or he actually knew this girl that knew this guy, and he's like, yeah, I think he'd be cool for it. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever, right? Well, we called him up. He said, yeah, I'll come out and jam. Came out there. he was just like a real non-assuming guy, you know, kind of quiet. He set up his drums, and I gave him 5 songs to play. And I told him if, you know, if it goes well, then we'll bring him back in about a week or so, because we had a show in like literally 3 days. And he played 5 songs, and he just totally destroyed those songs. I mean, he played them as freaking good as Tommy Lee. And we looked at him, it's like, that's it, dude, you're in the band, that's it, you're doing the show Saturday, by the way. And he's like, all right, you know, and wow, it was just incredible. And then of course we have Sharon, our other incredible backup singer. She jumped in after our prior one. Cherie had to step out, and she filled that role too, you know. And it's funny because a few of the people that are in the band had never really been on stage. They had, you know, sang or played or whatever, but they never really did it to that level, especially the level that we're doing it, you know. So they all stepped in, and it's like, okay, and I'm a motherfucker with it, dude. I'll give you a set list. I'll say, okay, here's the set list, and we're playing this show in 2 weeks, so you better learn it. And they're like, whoa, fuck, what am I? Well, learn it, dude. And that's how it goes. And we go up and we play, and we just destroy it every freaking time, man. Now, I don't think we've ever had a bad review, and it's not ego, it's just freaking fact, because I know what we do. We go in there and we entertain these people. We interact with the people. We bring people on stage. I can't tell you how many times we were playing and we found out, you know, one of the girls said, oh, there's this girl's anniversary and her and her husband are here, or it's this guy's birthday, or this is this person's first time ever here in Motley Crue, or this one time it's like, this is this girl's very first concert. We're like, fuck it, get her up here. We would literally drag them on stage to sing a song with them. You know, we'll give them a shirt or something like that. So, and, you know, at the end of the night, we're always there for our fans. And that's something I really, really want to emphasize. You know, I mean, people would ask, you know, well, what sets you apart from these guys, from the other bands? You know, why are you better than them? There's a million tribute bands out there. Well, the difference is our integrity in how we treat our fans. You know, we're very, very serious about what we do, and we're all genuine Motley Crue fans. There's bands I know personally where some of these guys, they don't even like the band that they're a tribute to. So how the fuck can you be a tribute to a band that you don't even like? Well, because it's dollar signs, you know. Everybody in our band, in Wreking Crue, has been in original bands. We've been in cover bands. We've recorded, you know, to one degree or another. We've toured. So it's not like we're doing this because we want to make a bunch of money. We want to do this because we like Motley Crue, bottom fucking line. You know, we thought it would be fun to go up and play songs from a band that have always been a part of our lives and has influenced. So that's what we did. And then people started liking it and really digging it and wanting us to come out and play for them. And, you know, it turned into something bigger and bigger for us.
If you had a choice to work with another tribute band to do a co-headlining show, who would that be with?
Well, that's easy, Guns N' Roses. And for 2 reasons. The first reason is because Guns N' Roses is my other favorite band. And I've been a fan of them since Appetite came out in, was it 87? Yeah, 87. And there's a huge connection between Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses. You know, they were a struggling Hollywood band. Appetite for Destruction had come out. Nobody was buying it. Nobody really knew about them except from Hollywood. Nikki Sikks heard about them, checked them out. He took them out on tour on the 87 tour, and it was just freaking debauchery, you know, the whole fucking tour. I mean, it was just the perfect match. Both bands with this raw, fuck you kind of attitude, just going up and kicking ass and doing what they do. And there's actually a Guns N' Roses tribute band called Night Train. And we've had the pleasure of playing a couple shows with them. And let me tell you, it was fucking crazy. We actually came out in the middle of the show with the Jack Daniels bottle, and we're pouring it down there, Slash is throwing, and he's actually drinking it and playing it, and by the end of the night, he's crawling around like trying to fucking play it. We came out from Paradise City, and we did the big encore with them. We got to do it twice. So I've told those guys, man, you know, we need to take this shit on tour. This is so fucking huge. Because there's so many fans, you know. It's like the thing with Crue, obviously they're retired, right? And, you know, I believe emphatically they're not going to come back because I think those guys got way too much integrity to go back on their word. I don't think they want to look silly like some of these other bands who said that shit and then they turn right back and come, you know, people accuse them of, you know, being in it for the money and stuff. And I really don't think they would ever do that. On top of that, they don't even really get along or talk to each other. So I don't see that ever happening. But I mean, even when you did see Crue, it wasn't the same. You know, I personally saw them 3 times on the final tour, and it was awesome for sure. But I mean, they didn't play Shout at the Devil like they did back in, you know, 85. They didn't play, you know, Wild Side like they did in 87. You know, they're older, they're different, you know. You can't take it back. But we can take it back. So what we do is we go and deliver this experience in this show that you just cannot see. And it's the same thing with Guns N' Roses. I mean, I saw them last year on the big reunion tour, and yes, it was cool, but was it like seeing them in 87? Fuck no. It's just, you're not going to. These guys are older, they're different musicians, they're different people, and it's not going to be the same. So that's something that people really love about us. You know, we play these shows, and it takes people back. You know, they relive those good times and those good memories, and they say that to us all the time. It's like, man, I felt like it was 30 fucking years ago, and, you know, if I close my eyes, I'd swear I was at a Motley Crue concert, and, you know, and it's, again, it's not ego. It doesn't make us feel good because we're like, oh, yeah, we're the shit, and we're great. It's not that. It's that we made those people happy. We've had shows where we've had kids, 12, 13 years old, to their first freaking concert, and they're up in the front row, wide-eyed, you know, the horns up, rocking to us, and it's just the greatest fucking thing for us to see that, and to see these people have so much fun, you know, and people ask us, why do you do what you do? We do it for 2 reasons. We do it because we love Motley Crue, and it's fun for us, and the second reason is because we give people so much happiness and so much fun for 2 hours that night.
Who runs your Facebook and website pages?
Oh, we all do. We have an administrator for the website. You know, the website typically, that's more business kind of stuff, you know, booking agents, promoters, that kind of stuff. Usually we'll deal with that. I mean, people don't really contact you on a website. You know, they look at your content, and that's about it. Facebook, obviously, that's where it's at these days, and we personally handle that, all 6 of us. We don't have an administrator, or we don't pay a guy or a girl to answer questions or comments. We all personally do it collectively. So if you go on Wreking Crue's Facebook page and you comment and someone comments back, it's one of us. And a lot of times we'll tell you who we are, or even when we'll post, we'll say, well, okay, this is Sikks or this is Crash, so that you know where we're coming from. Because sometimes one of us will say some, you know, like myself, I'm notorious for saying some dumbass shit, and the other guy's like, oh, that wasn't me. I didn't say that shit. That was Sikks' dumbass, you know. And we have a Twitter page. We don't really do too much with it. You know, for us, it doesn't seem to really have made much of an impact. So we really focus on the Facebook thing, you know.
Do you have any last words or anything you'd like to talk about that wasn't covered?
Well, again, like I said, we do this for ourselves, and we do this for the fans. You know, we have so much respect for these people. I mean, you know, you hear this all the time. You know, people, I mean, Ozzy used to say, he was notorious for saying, you know, without you, I'm nothing, and I love you all. And I'm sure he really does, you know, but it's true. I think sometimes bands say that because it's like, it's become like the cliche thing, the standard thing. Oh, you have to thank your fans. But then some bands are total assholes to their fans. And we've seen that so many freaking times. These so-called national headliners come to town, and we're the fucking band that's opening for them, or we have, and we don't even see these people. We don't talk to them. We don't see them. they'll have their stage manager coming and bitching at us, so you got to move this, and so doesn't like that over there. And it's like, dude, fuck you, pretentious assholes. The fans, they don't even come talk to them. They don't spend 2 fucking seconds with them. You've got bands out there that are charging thousands of fucking dollars just to meet somebody. I mean, are you fucking kidding? It's like, what are you, the Pope, that I got to fucking pay to talk to you? Are you kidding? You know, I don't know about you, but I'm sure it's probably the same for you and a lot of people out there. When I was a kid, I had all the posters on the wall. You know, we're talking back in the 80s, and it was Motley Crue, of course, but then you had all the cool bands like, you know, GNR and Wasp and Ozzy and all that stuff, Metallica. And especially even like Zeppelin, you know, you looked at these posters of Robert Plant and Jimmy Page, and these guys were like fucking gods. You know, they were like above and beyond. You know, it's like you didn't picture Robert Plant out there mowing his lawn, you know. And that was the persona. These guys were rock stars, you know. But they also made time for people. They cared and they interacted. A lot of these bands don't do that. Well, you know what? We will do a show every time we play. We go back, we take a minute, and we go out and we will sit there and talk to every single person who wants to talk to us. We will sign anything. We will take pictures. We've even given them shit. We played down in what the hell was the name of the place? Merville. It's not Maryville, it's Merville, Tennessee. It's outside of Knoxville. We had this huge freaking show down there at a Harley Davidson dealer. We played for about 800 people, and it was incredible. There was a couple kids in the show. We went down and we gave them pics during the show. We jumped in. As we're playing, we jumped down there and took pictures with them. So at the end of the night, they come, they're buying some shirts and getting autographs and pictures. And this kid, he had to be like 12, 13 years old maybe. He really wanted a bandana, but we had sold all our bandanas out. So I went back. I actually had one on my belt. I took my personal bandana, the only one I had, Wrecking Crue bandana, and I gave it to the kid. Because to me, having that kid there, enjoying what we were doing, it was just the greatest feeling. You know, he's the next generation. He's the next generation of musician who's going to go out there and create and move people. You know, maybe he'll form the next band like Motley Crue. Who knows? You know. So that is why we do this shit. You know, and our band is so awesome. These guys, they bust their ass. Right now, what is it, like 8:30, 9 o'clock, something right now? My guitar player, Crash, he's sitting at a warehouse building props. He works all day, and then he goes and builds props till 11, 12 o'clock at night so we can have our Theater of Pain show ready for our fans. You know, and we even made some special stuff, you know, as far as merch just for the show for these people, because it's so freaking huge, and this is our hometown. These people are the ones that made it possible for us to go around the country and play. And then one other thing, I want to give a shout out to all the former members of the band. I don't like to really get into all the past stuff. I mean, we're living today and we're looking for tomorrow what we're going to do. But without everybody that's been in this band, we would not be where we are. Every single guy that's been in this band has had some sort of contribution that has helped move this band forward. And to all those guys that were in the band that have been a part of Wrecking Crue, I personally want to thank them, and I appreciate their contribution to this band.
Well, Nikki, I want to say thank you for taking the time to do this interview. And for those who haven't seen Wrecking Crue, I highly recommend that you do. It's guaranteed to be an amazing experience.
Well, I appreciate that, man, and I hope to catch you in the front row and then backstage one of these days, huh?
Oh yes,
all
definitely.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for having me, man, and I'll be talking to you.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
All right. Later, man.
Later.